Hi, I'm Pat Hindle from Microwave Journal. Welcome to this EDICon Online Educational Day session. Our platinum sponsors are Samtec and ComSol, and our track sponsors today are Mini Circuits, CPI Electron Device Business, Altair, Keysight Technologies, and Mari Microwave. This session is the next wave of mobile innovations shaped where AI, mobile, and cloud meet, given by Peter Linder, Head of Thought Leadership, North America at Ericsson. Now I'd like to introduce our presenter. Peter Linder serves as the Head of Thought Leadership for Ericsson North America, where he transforms complex 5G technology concepts into clear, actionable insights. He combines over 30 years of telecommunications expertise with a talent for making advanced technology accessible to all audiences. Now I will turn the presentation over to Peter.
Warm welcome to this webinar at EDICON Online Educational Days. Here we're going to address the next wave of mobile. And what that is all about is essentially looking at the innovations that are shaped where AI, mobile, and cloud meets. And I will lead this session. My name is Peter Linder. I'm heading up Thought Leadership in North America at Ericsson. And most of you perhaps wonder, what on earth is thought leadership all about in this sector? Well, I'm looking at very much about what is happening now in the second wave of the 5G deployment, where we in the first wave was very much focused on consumer application, fixed and mobile broadband. Now in the second wave that we've now entering the sixth year of 5G here in North America, we're looking at what can we do differently for enterprise application. And so I'm going to take you through quite a little bit of the things that we see here, and very much from the perspective of what can we take to take the next larger step in the evolution. If we look at mobile and look at what characterizes the next wave of innovation, it helps a little bit look at the first waves of innovation that we've seen happening before us here. The first wave, when we went from essentially from connecting households to connecting people and connecting everyone on the planet, it was very much with voice and SMS and text services, where we paid per use. So the price per minute for the phone calls, there was price per text messages in the beginning. And this was very much how it all started. The first big transition was when mobile internet and cloud happened. Mobile broadband was a key service that we got to our smartphones, was very much a mobile play. And our subscriptions was typically either traffic-based with a certain data bucket per month or unlimited data plans and all kinds of things around it. Right now we are at an important inflection point. In all markets deploying 5G, we have introduced mid-band, massive MIMO, and carrier aggregation to get up the capacity in the network. But what's characteristic for this shift is essentially when we introduce 5G standalone and introduce the full-fledged 5G capabilities also in the core network, not only just in the radio network. That allows us to do things like network slicing. Network exposure comes on top of it, where we're allowing the outside world to see get access to important data in the network. So this enables the third big wave, where we can say that this was very much focused on expanding and differentiating. So it's about scaling new use cases. Fixed wireless is already out there, so it's about scaling it up further and introducing AI applications in augmented reality. It's about to expand to new sectors that are not yet on the 5G network, so different enterprise sectors and mission critical use. It's more about dynamic business models, so that we can capture a lot of the new value that are created, and also new capabilities beyond connectivity. So networks, it's not only about connecting and taking things from A to B, it's also taking advantage of the data that exists in the network that can be used in a variety of different ways. We're also having the journey here where mobile, cloud, and AI, an important aspect is how does these fit together and how do they support the digitalization and the digital transformation of enterprises. Well, AI plays a very important role, and we've seen the transition there through machine learning and artificial intelligence to the generative AI movement that started in the fall of 2022. This is going to take us further down the road to agents. We're going to get to general artificial intelligence, which is as smart as the average human, and also super intelligence down the road, which is smarter than than we as humans are today. AI depend on two very important things to move. First, we need cloud capabilities, either clouds where they are located today, and there's also two other important movements, or perhaps even three. It's about more centralized clouds for training, but there's sovereign clouds within a country to keep control of all the data that's needed and generated on a local level. In distributed computing, we will bring cloud closer to users. On the mobile side, we've gone through the evolution from mobile telephony to mobile broadband. And you can say the first one was very much about circuit switch capabilities. The second one was IP and data connectivity. We're moving in the direction towards more advanced connectivity, where we're differentiating the mobile connectivity so that the different applications that can get something that is more tailored to their unique needs, and that the sum of that, a differentiated connectivity plus applications that can take advantage of it, deliver a better experience to the end users. I think when we look going forward here, this very much makes sense to look at this as three interdependent technologies, because AI and cloud capabilities, since not all AI will be executed on device, and not all will be executed in a single cloud, there has to be something that connected. And since most of the devices here are mobile devices, at least for personal AI, the mobile connectivity play an important part of the puzzle here. If we look at how this can be used and how we expect this to scale across different use cases in different sectors, there's two aspects of this are important. The first one is how we scale new use cases over traditional mobile networks. This is where both when we serve new applications or better versions of the existing applications to a smartphone, for example, but it's also the introduction of new types of devices that are coming into play here, like laptops and cameras, vehicles, and all kinds of smart glasses. With those new devices have unique connectivity needs. So it is possible to actually deliver some of these over traditional mobile networks, very similar to the way we're doing it today. There's also a second opportunity here, which is very much about expanding this to new sectors, new networks to new customers. So think about this as a network that existed before, perhaps had been a dedicated network that now can be and can be carried over the 5G infrastructure or the 5G platform with multiple network consolidated in one. Fixed wireless access is a good example. This was the first service beyond mobile broadband that took off for 5G. And I see here in North America, we've seen it becoming the dominating technology for all fixed broadband growth. So all growth today for fixed broadband is on fixed wireless access. Fiber is roughly growing as fast as copper decline, and cable is flat or declining. With the introduction of mobile networks, we've also seen the opportunity to deal with virtual private enterprise networks. So an enterprise that get their network as a shared portion of the public 5G network. Wireless WAN is very similar. That's where you connect enterprises, either as secondary data connectivity to an enterprise, the backup, or to branch offices with increased security, and you can remotely manage it. So this is in play wherever when you can connect different forms of enterprises and their physical locations. We also have scenarios where enterprise networks are dedicated and not seen to the outside world. For example, manufacturing, healthcare, logistics, and mining, they have their own private networks at premises. The fifth type of the network here is essentially about mission critical networks. And like you say, think about that as networks that are having a level of even more higher network requirements due to the nature of those activities. Oil and gas, public safety, utilities, rail, defense, and airspace, all here. And it's a resilience that's a big piece, and the availability that is critical here. The last bit here is 5G non-terrestrial networks, which essentially satellite serving either for fixed broadband outside of the mobile grid, or for a satellite service, a service that we can access through our phone, but that we connect through a satellite when we are reach beyond the grid. for example, in the wild wilderness areas or beyond, essentially where people live. So when you think about this application that's characteristic for the next wave of mobile, think about this, both how we scale new use cases, but also how we expand to new sectors, and that all of these are in play. If we go into looking at what is characteristics, what do we need to be different? It's very much related to the demands for high performance in differentiated services. So one slice fits all doesn't fit everybody any longer. And giving you a few examples, quality of service, the dynamic control of resources, this is very much important for AI and AR applications. And even to get something basic going like connecting a camera to the mobile network, perfectly possible today, but you need to have a dedicated capacity uplink in order for it to work properly. Reliability is an important factor whenever you go into a factory or something like that. You want a reliable connectivity that makes sure that so there's no downtime. And this is critically like a decent size car manufacturing plant. There the cost of downtime could be $50,000 an hour. And I always say hour, but it's per minute. So $15,000 per minute is what we're talking about in those kind of situations. And reliability is essentially key to just make sure that you don't have any interruptions. Coverage is always a factor for mobile network, but what is new is that the coverage is moving. It's not only an outdoor coverage game, it's an indoor coverage game, and in 3 dimensions. So which is critical. And this is vital for example, for autonomous guided vehicles, and important when you're in a mine or a port or something, that so you can operate everywhere. And knowing what the things you have operating, where they are, for example. There's also an opportunity to simplify operations. They're very much thinking about wireless as a service. So instead of deploying physical infrastructure at the small business, for example, connecting it directly from the tower nearby, and offering the local wireless network as a service from the mobile network. Positioning advanced capabilities are important for anything that's moving around on the inside. So you can do 3D mapping for drones that are flying around and checking out exactly where they are. And the last bit here is very much security, ID and authentication, that the mobile network can support in assisting in doing more secure 2-factor authentication without not the individual person having to hack in both codes. It's also very much used today for fraud prevention by the financial sector and secure access to services at the edge. It's easy to think about this as, okay, this is about just making existing services better, but it's also about enabling things that hasn't been possible to do before. What I'm thinking about here is generative AI applications. They require very much flexible compute, centralized or at the edge, not so much for text in, text out application, but for anything that's more multimodal, where you have audio or pictures or videos, inputs or output. Very much favored by the low latency and mobility in the applications. The high bandwidth links are key, and not only the bandwidth links to the user, but also from the user, since they often is going to, especially if generating audio, video, and pictures as input. And you want it to be fast and responsive. I hope that everything that we do for generative AI is something where we don't have to think about the spinning wheel, that we're waiting for something is never a thing in that world. The other aspect is XR, extended reality, where we look at very much fast rate adaptations, like that you can do that, adjust to changing conditions in the network, that you have an end-to-end, a differentiated traffic flow that take care of have the characteristics that's supported by these applications. And one of the keys here to improve device battery life, getting down the size, the power consumption, the weight, and so on of smart glasses, essentially to offload a lot of the compute, memory, and power from the device itself to nearby cloud. That requires that you, if you do all the rendering and so on remote, that you then have high capacity in place, because you're essentially going to stream down the content that's going to be shoot at the device in a format that's suitable, so it doesn't have to do a lot of processing on device. So what about the networks are the foundation for this digital ecosystem? Well, we've had device APIs before and cloud APIs, and people are familiar with those. What is new now is that we can target superior experience for consumer, we can target reliable intelligent solution for business and government, and we can give developers new capabilities. So not only having access to APIs as tied to a device or a cloud, but APIs that comes from the network. If we look at this from ground up, it's very much networks are powered by AI for efficiency. It's secure from the beginning and reliable and resilient. That's the DNA of mobile. It's a worldwide technology, so whatever we use in one market can work in other markets. The service providers operating them in licensed spectrum. And also depending on a little bit of a local spectrum situation, enterprises and mission critical use can leverage same spectrum as the public 5G services or being more tailored. The high-performing programmable networks hits across those are capabilities across the radio network, the transport, and the core network to allow all these different opportunities to operate across these networks. It's also not that we're going to set this up in a rigid way. It's very much a dynamic network, and the autonomous network aspect of it is about management and orchestration and monetization, exposure at different layers in the network. So resources at the bottom, moving up to the service definition, but also the business layers. And developers, platforms, and API aggregators, they have the opportunities to now tie into part of the connectivity, the more advanced connectivity we can offer, but also from that one going on and taking advantage of the data that the network has about a variety of different things. So the combination of this, the differentiated connectivity and access to data in the network is very attractive to developers, and not only seeing the network any longer as a black box where you're running everything on top. This is something where you actually want to take advantage of the capabilities in the networks fully so you can deliver better service. So summing up this session, I would like to thank you for attending. The 4 points I want to get across here. The next wave of mobile is here, not everywhere, but definitely in advanced markets. So this is something that is happening as we talk right now. The second point was that the combination here of AI, cloud, and mobile shape the digital transformation of industries. And it's not one or the other. You need all three to take full advantage of the development going forward. I wanted to point out here that the new opportunities are shaped in a variety of different ways, both regarding new use cases, but also open up whole new markets and industries. And the high-performing programmable networks that's sitting at the bottom of this, has higher requirement across the border on the network, because it's not only going to serve fixed and mobile broadband any longer on a best effort basis. This is going to be the foundation for all digital applications that run and application experiences that run in society. And this is something I'm really excited about and looking forward. And my belief is that the second half for the 5G deployment, especially here in North America, will be as exciting as the first half year. So stay tuned for more, and I hope you enjoy this session about the next wave of mobile and how it can change the world. Thank you.